subscribe below. I'm going to put this at the start of the video, but I'm saying it at the end. Subscribe, leave a comment. If you comment, I will reply. So just remember that. I hope you enjoy the video and thank you for making it to the end. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into masculinity. When I think about masculinity, I like to start with the framework that David M. Buss uses. He's an evolutionary psychologist, and he believes something to the effect of masculine energy is the pushing, driving, going, getting, doing, grabbing force. And then feminine energy is the communal association, relationships, kind of like the human part of being human. So these in that frame is non-gendered, like meaning we all have masculine and feminine within us. But that obviously, I don't need to preface it by also saying that those genders are influenced by the hormones in our body. And obviously men are more likely to be doing masculine things or be masculine people. So I'm glad that that's out. Now, when I think about the people in my life who are masculine males, alpha, who are successful, who are doing well, who I truly respect, the traits that pop up in mind are, I think the stoic element of being a man is very important. And I think what a lot of people get wrong here is this idea of pushing or repressing emotions and not actually engaging with them so that you can kind of appear distant or detached from the feelings. I think that's just pushing something down. I don't find that to be true stoicism. I don't have any facts behind this, but I do think stoicism to some degree is when you do feel emotions, fully embodying those emotions in their totality. But the difference here is that it's not actually controlling you. So you're able to observe them, let it flow in and out, and you can also choose when to activate the theme of an emotion. So whether it's a place for anger, a place for shame, a place for whatever the emotion is, I think we forget how much emotions truly like influence every single thing we do. So I think you have to be a man, to be a masculine man, experience the full totality and the range of being human. But importantly, not let emotions fully control you. So in terms of masculinity, I think that stoicism, but also full embodiment of emotion is a very key part of being a man or a masculine man. Now, I think to get there, you have to do some soul searching. And with that, I think a good trait of masculinity is the comfortable in aloneness. There's something about that which I think reminds us that we're all, well, for me as a man, I know we all are, but like as a man, on this kind of journey into the dark, diving headfirst into like the dark, you know? I think to achieve the embodiment of all those emotions, you have to be able to be alone with your thoughts. This is a big critique of like our TikTok generation as well. Yes, it's bad. Yes, attention span, but also we're not giving ourselves like enough time to just experience like one stream of thoughts. I took public transport recently, and anytime someone's like on TikTok or whatever, any reel, and they're just scrolling and it's on speaker, like I'm so judgmental because I'm raw dogging it, you know? Like I'm just chilling it. I'm just like fucking, we're just like this. But no, but anytime someone is, I'm like, ugh, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what brain like rot are you experiencing? And I forget that I'm completely a symptom of that as well. But that's not even what I'm referring to. The thing with that is the constant chopping of our conscious experience to angry, to excited, to scared, to frustrated, to bang, to bang. It's like this choppy, changey experience of consciousness, which is not obviously how we're designed. So a big part of embodying the human, which as a man for me is a man, is the complete processing of being a human being, which involves obviously emotion, but time. Like it involves like a stream, you know. So that's another thing I think about the aloneness. So what have we said? We've said just emotional control, somewhat intertwined with stoicism as well. Aloneness is a big one. Now, um, I did want to talk about Andrew Tate as well. I do want to talk about Andrew Tate. So, all right, we'll talk about Tate because it's kind of linked, but it's kind of not. But it gives me more content to talk about. So, Andrew Tate, how did he become famous? I think it was like Andrew Tate came out of this emerged through the cancel culture. You know what I mean? So for most people, I think they started respecting him when they realized like there is a very real conspiracy, like a very active push to suppress Andrew Tate with no real evidence, which is like he's innocent. Reminder, guys, everything, remember everything, but he ended up being innocent. So we got to remember that fact. In saying that, I've always found Andrew Tate very average. Obviously, like fully granting his success, fully respecting it, not taking away from that. Like I fully understand that. But I also feel like in terms of the controversial takes he was having, like yes, he was going for some like bullshit like shock value as well. Yeah. So with that, I'm like, I don't respect it, whatever. But then he like the things that he was saying for the most part were pretty like reasonable and just kind of masculine. I'm just like, all right, cool. I just didn't get the full appeal until they tried to cancel him. Now, one thing he did say though, which I think was the stupidest thing Andrew Tate could have said, and I'm not even attacking it from like a character assassination. I mean, logically, it made no sense what he said, and it was not misogynistic, but it was just bullshit. So he said something to the effect of, any woman who learns to fight is like stupid or something. Basically, why would you learn to fight? Because if you give yourself the false confidence of being able to fight a man, then you will get yourself in worse off situations. That's me trying to strongman the argument. I see the flow of it, but this is why it doesn't make logical sense. So he's assuming all types of fighting is striking or combat. Like a lot of the point is jujitsu for women is powerful for everyone. People forget the threat that it brings, but the idea of just complete control. So it's about control. It's about imposing your will over someone else. It's about space. I think it's really about center of gravity. That's a big part, I think. Obviously, the wrestling element, but I think using gravity to your advantage when you're on even playing fields, I think is super important. Point I'm making here is though, anyone, woman or man, that gets put in a scenario where they're around more strikers, especially if a woman's actually like training with men, they are more likely to see the disparity in physical like attributes. They're more likely to have more data to say, I'm not going to get in a fight with a man because they know the difference. So to make your point that women shouldn't learn to fight to avoid fighting is just, I don't know, it just feels logically incoherent. It doesn't flow. It doesn't flow. But I do respect Andrew Tate. I really do. With the whole Lost thing as well, I think that was just a rebrand. I think he also truly likes to, he's not a liar. He's a truthful person. So he's like, all right, am I still the top G in that domain of being a fighter? He didn't even have to do this. You got to remember that. But he chose to see if he still is what he was, because he was a world champion. And he's not. And he's fine. And he smokes too much. And it's like, I think this was also like a humility rebrand as well, to say, to evolve in like the conscious stream. So imagine Tate didn't do this and he just stays like, then his like kickboxing world title just gets further and further away and Tate just becomes less relevant. But with this, I think it was a pretty humble, I use that lightly. I don't want to use the word humble with Tate because that's just going to get me in trouble. So, but I think it was pretty noble to not actually have to hold on to your previous identity of champion and seeing if you're still capable. And he wasn't. And he wasn't. But yes, that is my take on Andrew Tate, masculinity for the most part, financial masculinity as well. It's just a big one. Um, anyone who started a business, if you've started a business, big respect, big respect. I just find it incredible. Or if you've gone out and done your own thing, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, if you've done your own thing and you're making money from it, I strongly commend it. I think it's very cool, especially business, because it's like massive investments and you're jumping into the dark and you're relying on your time and yourself. Um, so I think financial success is a sign of a competent risk taker. So it follows that financial success is both attractive and um, like it puts you higher on a higher market value in the dating domain. You're just a higher, you just have higher value monetarily, literally, symbolically. You have higher value. So, and you have more opportunities, and in that sense, you're operating with more free will. So you're almost more transcendent um, in the nature of how you influence the world by having effect over the decisions you make. Yes, you can do that without a dollar, but monetarily is like how we move in this economy. So, um, kudos to you. Kudos to Tate. Kudos to you if you listened. I think I like this. So I did a version of this yesterday, and it was meant to be a practice run, but I was really going to upload it. And boy, I watched it back. It was not pleasant. I didn't have the haircut. Let's say that. But I'm happy I did. I think I do want to just get used to talking to the cameras more. I like this. It kind of gives me an out. And I think it'll be more stimulating as a viewer. So and I got to do all the chops. I don't have this AI shit, so I got to punish myself with the chops. So honestly, please subscribe. Subscribe below. I'm going to put this at the start of the video, but I'm saying it at the end. Subscribe, leave a comment. If you comment, I will reply. So just remember that. I hope you enjoy the video and thank you for making it to the end. See ya.